Dude, The Simpsons done everything already. Who cares? Yeah, they've been on the air for like 13 years. Of course they've done everything.
Every idea has been done, Butters, even before The Simpsons.
Greetings, fellow mortals. Just a reminder, saying it's just my opinion is for cowards. This video contains spoilers for the following. Only watch it if you have seen all of these or you don't care about spoilers. That works too.
Well, we're waiting.
Recently, I saw the movie Sinners, and it was really, really good. I was hesitant to go see it at first because it's a vampire movie, and in principle, I hate that genre. It's because my wife has made me watch each and every one of the Twilight films, and I have lost my mind with every single one of them.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Fortunately, Sinners is about 5 billion times better than those films. It is well shot, well directed, well acted, well written. It has plenty of delightfully fun violence and a surprisingly heartfelt story with emotionally engaging characters and an ending that pulled at my heartstrings.
Hey, who left this bowl of onions here?
It is obviously not a film for everyone, because of the delightful gore and violence, but I loved it. It's probably my favorite film of 2025, right in front of Mickey 17 and The Accountant 2. But that third one is kind of just bias on my part, because I loved the first Accountant movie so much, flaws and all.
This is brilliant, but I like this.
There was one weird criticism I heard from a friend though. They said that Sinners was good but predictable, which made me pause for a solid minute before responding, because if Sinners was predictable, it would have been what it was advertised as, killing KKK vampires. That's what every single trailer came off as, which seemed like a fun idea. Wait, is YouTube okay with me saying that killing KKK vampires sounds fun, or is that a censorship no-no?
Hate, 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 hate. Double hate.
Loathe entirely.
And my immediate reaction to this weird complaint was to explain to my friend what predictable was, meaning that you, without ever having seen this story at all, can predict how the movie, show, book, or game is going to progress with ease and without any issues. But they were adamant that they did know how Sinners was going to end, time skip and all, so okay, I guess you're psychic.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
This, however, got me thinking, does being predictable make a story bad? After all, I can, in fact, see the opposite perspective. What's the point of sitting down to enjoy a story if you already know everything that's going to happen? Many people, not me, would say that this is a waste of time. Never mind that those same people would sit down and watch sports with a limited number of outcomes, all of which are predictable if you have all of the stats available to you.
Oh, it's so obvious. I would have never thought of that.
I am not mocking anyone's favorite pastime, but of course things are predictable. That's the world that we live in. There are very few events which happen on the planet which are completely and utterly random. Even storm seasons are a thing. My state has tornadoes basically the same month every year, which is why I am stunned when everyone is shocked by a tornado hitting the same time every year.
This is quite a shock. On the other hand, it's not surprising in the least.
So being predictable isn't necessarily a bad thing in real life, and it isn't in fiction either. What is one of the most famous non-religious stories in fiction? Romeo and Juliet. It's a play that at the very start, they tell you that the main characters are going to die in the end, and that their romance is a tragedy. So you'd be out of your mind to imagine it ending any other possible way.
I am shocked. Shocked! Well, not that shocked.
You could say the same thing for most romantic stories. There are two possible endings. Either the main characters are going to get together or they're going to part ways. Whether by death or not is completely unrelated. Usually the themes revolve around the healing power of love, or how you need to make the most of the time you have with the people you love, because life is in fact short.
I came here tonight because when you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with someone, buddy. You want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible.
If you do anything else, you're just going to go off the walls, switch genres, confuse and frustrate your audience, and lose people altogether. Shippers gonna ship. Just go with it. Embrace it. Let it carry you forward.
Don't care. Don't care. Still don't care. I don't care.
But that's just romance. There's plenty of other genres out there. So let's go with another example that's basically the exact opposite of this. Star Wars. And to get this out of the way for new viewers, I actually hate the franchise with a burning passion. All of it. Not just the sequels, not just the prequels. Yep, not a fan. I only watch it now because everything is bad and it brings me great joy to watch the dumpster fire. So, as an objective third party, let me talk about The Last Jedi. It is a perfect film for people who really hate Star Wars. What do Star Wars fans want? Luke to be the hero who saves the day and is always good. Character interactions that make sense. Plot that matters to the conclusion of the movie. Last Jedi basically points at Star Wars as a whole, nudges you and say, hey, this kind of sucks, doesn't it? Shouldn't we do something else? The other sequels are a soft remake and a hot mess. As for the prequels, I think that I have the softest spot in my heart for them because they have the best ideas in the series. Unfortunately, they're boring hot messes that I can't watch in one setting because they're so terrible, because they suck so much. If only a competent director and writer was behind the scenes to help George Lucas.
What do you want to do, huh? What do you want to do?
You better shut up, asshole!
I'm standing right here!
Shut up!
The reason the original films are the best is because they're the most basic. They follow the outline. They do things by the book. There isn't anything out there that completely shocks you. I don't knock them much because there isn't much to hate considering the time that they were made. I just don't like them because I was overexposed to them before I even saw them. Enjoy them if you want, but I will admit that they're well made and mostly well written until some of movie 6's ending, which kind of sucked.
I may have gone too far in a few places.
But what, you may be asking, about the plot twist? Isn't a shocking revelation part way, or at least at the end, good? Well, it can be if it makes sense. Look at famous examples. You can theoretically predict that Malcolm is dead the entire time in The Sixth Sense. In Gone Girl, everything makes sense if you understand that Amy is a terrible human being just like her husband, which is why I am very disturbed when women relate to her.
Don't try to talk me out of it. I'm sure it's completely... Nope, never again.
And the mother of all plot twists, Attack on Titan. The twist at the halfway point shifted every single event throughout the story and changed the genre from post-apocalypse survival to more of an international subterfuge story. That one was amazing. It was the second plot twist, where time travel shenanigans by Eren helped him manipulate the entire story so that he could be killed by Mikasa and die as the world's greatest villain.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
And then he gets reincarnated as a bird who watches over Mikasa so that she won't fall in love with anyone else. And people argue with me that this isn't the worst ending in fiction, and it is. I understand the themes and the symbolism. I get what is going on. I also just understand that it sucks epic donkey balls. You can like it, but it doesn't change the fact that it is bad.
Oh, have you not heard? It was my understanding that everyone had heard.
Heard what?
Brian, don't!
Oh, well, a bird.
You see, the reason why a plot twist can be good is if it makes sense. If all of the puzzle pieces come together, if theoretically you could have come to the correct conclusion by having all of the information presented to you. You could figure it out on your own if you stopped to think, like many different mystery stories.
And up next, we have the arch.
The arch. The arch.
You guessed it.
The arch.
It goes in the square hole.
When you go into any mystery story, there are always two promises made to you. The truth will be revealed at the end, and all of the pieces will be provided to you throughout the story. That way, you can figure it out on your own. Gone Girl actually does this well. Same thing with Murder on the Orient Express. The many different versions of it, of course. Even something like the first Knives Out. Glass Onion, on the other hand...
No, God! No! God, please, no! 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 No!
The twist of the mystery wasn't even that all the information wasn't revealed to you, it was that the movie just plain straight up lied to you. The same scenes are shown to you a second time with obvious changes being done. Stuff you would not have missed the first time, which would make sense if this was just a plain parody. But even then, it wasn't as though this was funny.
That's not funny. That's not...
Even parodies have to make a little bit of sense in order for them to make fun of the genre that they're mocking. Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Monty Python, all of them, they're all great. Spaceballs, Austin Powers, Team America, hell, even One Punch Man. Internal consistency is important. It doesn't need real world logic, leave real world logic at the door, but it needs to keep the logic of its own universe. Otherwise, it just becomes a lazy mess.
Does that make sense? Ladies and gentlemen, I am not making any sense. None of this makes sense.
But just changing the plot at the end to make fun of the genre and to make fun of you for putting your time, money, and thought process into it, it definitely isn't predictable, that's for sure. But is it good? No, I wouldn't even leave it as a question. It sucks. Trying to trick your audience by breaking internal consistency sucks epic donkey balls.
This is worthless.
It's less than worthless, my boy.
So being unpredictable doesn't make something good automatically. In fact, it can lead to the exact opposite. This isn't to say that something will be good just because it makes sense and can be followed reasonably. I could sit here all day and name the absolute dreck out there where the story, mystery, plot, or jokes are so by the numbers without anything special about them that they bore me to tears. In fact, that's almost everything. 90% of everything is crap.
Well, this sucks.
Almost every live action remake has at least a sound plot because they copy the original, but they suck automatically because they're copying homework, because they have nothing special about them. They're by the number slop out there to make more money on the same ideas put into a worse package. Even the good ones are automatically worse than their originals, like How to Train Your Dragon. Like the film, but there's no arguing that the live action remake is just a rehash of what came before.
Look what they need to mimic a fraction of our power.
Think of your favorite movies, books, games, and shows. I bet that, in retrospect, you could probably predict the outcomes if you were challenged to outline the story before you started enjoying them. Here, I'll do it for me. The Shining, the First Law trilogy, Like a Dragon, Better Call Saul, shocker on all of those things. I know, it's not like I advertised them.
Gasp! I never would have guessed.
Are they good? Definitely. Are they a little predictable? Absolutely. You knew Jack was going to lose his mind right as he arrived at the hotel. You were constantly told that the main characters in Joe Abercrombie's books were bad people. Every Yakuza game ends with a shirtless brawl, and Better Call Saul is a prequel. Doesn't change that Nacho and Howard's death hurt a lot to me.
Would you get out of here?
It isn't being predictable or unpredictable that makes a good story. It's the themes, the characters, the writing, the execution. If something is done well, it's good, even if you knew it was going to happen. Although I can still call BS on my friend for saying that Sinners was predictable. That was not predictable. It was not. What are you talking about?
You calling me a liar?
I ain't calling you a truther.
It's the the moments that stand out to you that matter the most. The battles, the romance, the twists, the turns, the character development, the dialogue, the plot, the setting. I bet that all of your favorites were easy to follow along with. It's the intangibles, the passion, the love, the effort put into a story that makes them great and memorable. Otherwise, they're all just hot, incomprehensible messes.
Stop! We can't take anymore!
But what do you think? Is being predictable a bad thing? Do you have to be shocked in order to enjoy a story? What's your favorite plot twist? What's your favorite story where you knew exactly what was going to happen, but things were done so well that you still loved it? Please leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And remember, if you disagree with everything I have to say, that is perfectly fine. After all, everyone is entitled to their objectively wrong opinion.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Thank you all so much for watching.
You're still here?
Good night, everybody.
Thank you. You bye. Boom.
Do not despair.